So yesterday, Judas got some more news released. I guess a handful of people got their hands on it. Geoff Keighley did. Some other people did, like IGN. Some more news about the game came out. So I figure I'm a big BioShock Infinite fan. It's my favorite game. Big BioShock fan, and I'm really excited for Judas. So I figured let's go through some of the new footage. To start off, we've got the Geoff Keighley 9-minute video where he kind of talks about it a bit. I haven't seen any of this. I haven't seen any trailers or anything since the last one released back it was some sort of event. I don't remember what it was. But let's see this. I'm really excited.
Sweetie, your poor hand.
I have the death counter on from the stream. I have to turn that off.
You have this, sweetie. Your poor hand. It doesn't have to be like this.
So I assume
you have this.
we're still in the main protagonist's eyes.
It triggers people. I don't know how to help you anymore.
Is there subtitles? No.
Why repeat the cycle?
Thanks, Twitter.
There's an easy way out.
What if your favorite single-player game could be infinitely replayable with story and even characters that feel alive
You mean like
and active?
Remnant?
Well, that's the concept that BioShock creator Ken Levine has been prototyping for the past decade at Ghost.
He's been working on this game for forever.
Itself in Judas. I just got back from Boston, where Ken is based.
Oh shit!
5
Look at that
hours
big
of the
dude.
game, along with some other folks, and I'm really excited to sort of talk a bit about it because when
That's cool. I kind of want to look at what you just showed me though. I assume so. These are just regular enemies. I think we've seen a variant of this in the previous footage. This one looks like he's got giant ladders on the side.
Because when we first revealed this game at the Game Awards in 2022, it was a great trailer.
So ice kind of works similarly.
Said, of course, it looks like BioShock in space, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I think I speak for a lot of people when I say
it's
I
some
really
shock and
miss
prey.
the BioShock franchise. The first game and Infinite are some of my favorite games of the past 2 decades, and all the things that you would expect in a BioShock game are there. They're hand powers. There's hacking. There's incredible cinematic moments.
Whoa, ho, ho. Hello UI. So we've got, I assume, obviously, subject to change. Beats me. It's probably not going to stay there. So we've got, I guess, different programs we can do. We've got this one. Find the nearest organic or robot and self-destruct. Organic. So I guess, do people have like robot pieces in them, kind of like Cyberpunk, and you can kind of like hack it and make them explode? I guess that's what the kamikaze here specifically is. So you've got a bunch of different options. I don't know, maybe like drop money, drop health or something, turn off.
Great characters,
execute hack.
But
then you hacked the horse, and it just walked over and exploded on the other guys.
But there's some
Man, look at the fucking terrain too. Hold on, what's out this window?
Moments, great characters.
So I know we're in space. Well, this kind of looks like a cityscape.
Storyline, but there's something more.
Looks like other humanoid robotic stuff, and then there's the left-hand guy, left-hand saw guy.
Describe or showcase in a trailer. So I think Ken wanted a bunch of us to come in and sort of play the game to see how this idea
you need like a gameplay trailer,
sort of versatility comes to fruition in the game. Now the game is,
I was curious what this might be an ad for, but
and we only got to play sort of the first 4 or 5 hours of it, but
first 4 or 5 hours, that's a lot of time. BioShock Infinite could be beat in like 10, maybe, give or take. So
it was really cool to see what Ken is doing in this game. Now, I don't want to spoil
like within 10 hours
about the plot of the game, and I will also say that Ryan McCaffrey and IGN did a great interview with Ken.
What does it say?
Say that Ryan McCaffrey
to build a civilization.
And IGN did a great interview with Ken.
Kind of like the design of it.
I sat in for that, and the Friends Per Second podcast with Skill Up, Lucy James, and Jake Baldino also chatted with
thanks,
Ken.
game.
So there's a lot of more information coming out about kind of the game and the storyline, but I wanted to sort of describe what is so cool about
the game's got a sense of humor, at least.
And for that, table stakes is that you play Judas, this character on this floating space city called the Mayflower. And as you
Okay,
venture
Mayflower.
through this spaceship, there are
Yeah,
sort
there it
of
is right
three
there.
characters that you're going to meet and vie for your affections in many ways. Tom, played by Troy Baker, he's the sheriff character.
Now I heard Nefertiti and Hope trying to turn your head back there. They can't offer you what I can.
He's a
Community,
hologram.
fellowship, a chance to lead.
Nefertiti.
Your mission has failed, Tom.
Okay.
The flesh was not meant to survive on Proxima.
Now there's still room for you in the mission, Neffy, I swear.
Don't you ever call me that again.
And Hope.
I was so certain I was helping people.
Got a
fix
good look,
their
good,
lives.
some sort of Chucky look going on over here.
Fucking moron. Everything I thought was true was just... Honestly, now the only thing I'm looking forward to is nothingness. And when you bring me
Faces
there,
are pretty, well,
and I
they're sort of
see it
expressive.
swimming out to me, I'll let it take me.
It looks like it's sort of going through the
It's the
same
only
couple
way
looks
out.
right now.
Please do this for me, Judas. Help me end this thing.
So they're gonna give different quests, I guess, that we can go through, maybe?
And
Ooh.
again, they all have all the characters have a relationship with Judas, your character. Again, don't want to spoil anything, but these characters effectively are sort of three factions on the ship, and they project themselves into your environment as you play through the game. And the concept
Are they in our head?
here is that these characters
Are they not real?
They sort of their narratives are all running sort of in real time at the same time as the game, and they are reacting to what you're doing as a player. So there's
Okay.
a non-linear mission structure to this game. There's also a roguelike element to the game. You've probably seen some of the footage of Judas reprinting herself. Again, I don't want to give too much away about that.
So it's sort of like the Vita chambers, where technically your character Jack does die, but then the Vita chambers create like a clone of you with your memories and everything. I guess that's sort of how the Vita chambers like work in universe. So I guess it's kind of similar to that, but it's instead more like Returnal, maybe, where you do die and then like it's a robot or something. Or in Borderlands, when you die, technically it's a clone of you being remade.
Your soul has had critical sectors removed. You may be experiencing severe loss of memory.
Hold on, let me go back a little bit.
A non-linear mission structure to this game. There's also a roguelike element.
So yeah, I guess the non-linear also means that I guess they'll give us multiple main missions and we can kind of complete I guess it sounds like that we can complete them at our own leisure then, in like whatever order we want, as opposed to like BioShock or, you know, where it's like, here's what we have to do. We have to go do this now, and there is like a side mission. You can like go back and like look at the wall in the right way and get some loot, but I'm sure that's also in, but...
element to the game. You've probably seen some of the footage of Judas reprinting herself. Again, I don't want to give too much away about that.
Your soul has had critical sectors removed. You may be experiencing severe loss of memory.
Severe loss of
The real
memory.
cool
I know that
concept
that's a
here is
big
that these three
game point.
characters, their storylines are alive, and kind of like the Nemesis system in Shadow of Mordor, if you remember that from, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago. These characters remember and react to what you're doing as a player. So, for
That's cool.
example, as you're playing through this game,
More games needed a
have
Nemesis,
different-
like a Nemesis style system, but I think who made those games? Was it Ubisoft? Whoever made them like copyrighted that like idea, so like nobody's ever been able to do it. So that's cool that we're having something that's at least similar finally.
missions that each character will kind of take you on or ask you to go on. And sometimes if you decide to go on missions with one character, another character will react to that. And you kind of it's sort of trying to keep an equilibrium between a bunch of the characters, but then ultimately you'll probably go in one direction with one character. And they all have sort of different missions or moments. So I had a few moments playing this game where, for instance, Tom was upset that I was spending too much time with Nefertiti, and he would project himself into my environment, talk a little smack about her. He would try and bribe me with an offer of a weapon, but I'd have to go over and do a mission with him.
Oh, that's
Do a mission
cool.
with him, and then Nefertiti might show up in your level and say something, or even sabotage the health station that I really needed in that
Oh wait,
level.
really? They can actually affect the environment a little bit like that? Oh wait, that's awesome. I love that. Okay, so we got our fire plasmid. So I mean, the previous one we saw when she uses her like left hand abilities, it was like a hack thing. But this one is just straight up shooting fire, and then earlier it was also just shooting ice.
Are interacting with each other and with you in this really interesting.
So I don't think it's entirely technological based or powers, but
matchmaking between all these different sort of narrative variables that can happen in the game. You know, Ken has done some amazing games in his career, and of course the first BioShock had branching narratives that the ending changed based on
well,
you know, if you harvested the little sisters.
well, you could say I guess it technically did, but
your own adventure game. The narrative is much more modular, and the idea is that I think if I play the game and someone else plays,
so that kind of reminds me of some of the Silent Hill games. Like the endings you get could literally be like affected by as simple as like how much you looked at an item or something. You know, like time spent looking at specific things. I forget which one it was, but like there's a bunch of like, you know, like pictures of girls and like magazines of girls and stuff like that, and like the amount of time, like it registers how much time you spent looking at those, and it can like affect things. So sounds kind of like that.
plays the game, we will each have a different experience, or if even I play the game multiple times, as I was talking.
Okay, so there's a turret. She just got on the turret. Oh, wait, she can help you. Okay, they can help you out.
Not just sort of a linear.
That person was really bad at shooting. Wait, no, I don't look at that again. So yeah,
we will each have a different experience, or if even I play.
So I guess there's the four of them were in some sort of lounge area, and yeah, she just pops up there and deals with the turret. You can also see that there's like a cord going, so I wonder if you can, if you don't have to like shoot the turret specifically, if you can like hack them out of her like there.
Experience hopefully would feel fresh
and then
unique,
totally whiffing there.
Sort of a linear or node-based sort of pathing.
Whoa! It's one of the old dogs. Does anybody remember those old they're like dogs and cats that look just like this? Whoa! That's like a core 90 like a early 2000s kid memory.
Plot. I will also say this is not like a generative AI thing where, you know, the character dialogue.
And obviously it looks like you can pilot it.
Generated. It's all handcrafted, and that's what's so cool about this game is it's got everything we love about a BioShock game, but as it plays out, every player I think will have a different experience. Of course, this really, you know,
rotate lever. So here's how to work gun. Really here's the instructions.
The game is finished because
is that a floating? That enemy just flies? Oh, there's an electricity-based ability.
You know, different playthroughs of it, but it's a really cool concept. And
are we gonna get the bees back?
I'm a fan of single-player games. I'm very excited.
Or the birds?
And the team trying to push the medium forward. I would encourage you to check out those interviews with Ken to have him kind of explain and describe where they're at.
I've got at least one pulled up.
But I wanted to record this video, something I don't normally do, because I think this is a game that you have to hear about and ultimately experience to really understand what Ken and the team are doing. But it is definitely something I'm very highly anticipating, and it was fun for me to go into a game studio to get to just play a game with some other people, which is something that we actually rarely get to do anymore post-COVID.
Because yeah,
the
COVID
world is right now.
Makes sense.
So anyways, Judas, I was honored that we got to reveal to the world a couple years ago at TGA.
Is that about all he's got to say? No, it's another minute.
Fun to play. So check out those.
We'll see if there's more footage real quick.
That's the Judas scoop from me.
Stop squirming, fucking traitor.
Hold her. I told Humpty from the start that you were a rat. But he was so good and trusting, and it was my job to protect him. But you cheated, didn't you? Going to Tom like that? You aren't just a rat, are you? No, you're the fucking devil!
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that she did have the thing in front, and I'm like, damn.
His memory. By making you pay for it.
I wonder if her hand, so in BioShock 1, obviously the splicers, they get different variants using, you know, too much atom and stuff totally fucks you up. It was a cut idea, but there is like behind the scenes art of in BioShock Infinite using too much vigors would totally like fuck up like AI's body. It never obviously happened to the player, but It's people that use, I don't know, like shock jockey too much, and then like crystals will be appearing on their body, or they'd be like drinking it too much and they'd be appearing. I wonder if that's what's going on with her arm here. I don't know. She just used like a firepower too much and just has started burning her body.
Or his memory.
That's the thought that just went through my mind there.
By making you pay for it. J stands for Judas. The fucking backstabber. Take her to the subway froggies before the other assholes show up.
Oh, dudes with frog mass. The frog squad. I wonder how early that is. J for Judas. I wonder if she doesn't remember her name, and this is how she gets her name, and everyone just calls her Judas because of this. That's interesting. Okay. So cool. That's a good face to leave it on. Thanks, Geoff. So it sounds like there's a main story and everything, and then I guess it's sort of they mentioned sort of roguelike. I guess maybe it's procedurally generated. Maybe different like loot items can like not are like static spawns. So like different things can spawn in different areas. I imagine it can't go like too crazy on that, depending on if they do like different type of weapons. Because obviously you probably well, I guess you don't have to be able to get all of them in one run, but you probably should be able to get all of them in one run. I feel like that's always a good idea. Like you just need to look around for it, kind of like the upgrade stations in BioShock 1. You just had to like look at nook and crannies and everything, and then you'd find all of them in one playthrough. I like the idea of the sort of like 3 ghosts in you. The fact I can interact with the environment tells me that maybe they're not just in your head, that they're not like, because my initial thought was hearing that, oh, okay, they're not actually real. These are probably like conscious or something, right? But if they can actually interact with the environment to the degree which they showed, like locking doors, moving turrets and everything and making them attack allies, they're probably somewhere in the Mayflower then. And they're going through your brain chips or whatever. I don't know. It seems like there's some degree of cybernetics going on that they can kind of show themselves to you. So that's cool. It looks like a lot of the enemies are going to be robots. One of the cut ideas in BioShock Infinite really early on was this idea of like an enemy toy maker, and then he had like you'd be fighting through his different inventions and stuff. So it kind of looks a bit like that idea expanded a little bit. And then I like the idea of they really interact with, or like they change depending on what you're doing. We'll see what degree that is, because I mean I've heard that before, and then games don't really do that all that much. It's like a couple dialogue differences here and there. So we'll kind of end up seeing what degree that is. So let's see. Now we got an actual interview with him. Who are these guys? Actually, that's Geoff right there. So there you go.
I don't super care about the business side of things, but Geoff, you and I have been doing this for a while. I'm fascinated by the fact that
this is kind of just what I found through Twitter.
It speaks well to them. They've completely left you alone for a decade. Like, I think a lot of developers, a lot of companies, you'd have been canceled.
That's right. Ghost Story is owned by Take-Two, isn't it? I don't know if it initially was, but I think at this point, yeah, it is. And it is kind of crazy that they've left him alone this long, because most studios, would have closed down by now without any results. I don't know.
3-4 years ago at this point, and you're not under the 2K banner. You're not under the Private Division banner. You're not under the Rockstar banner.
They're under their own
little satellite.
Yeah.
Pipsqueak of
Take-Two. So
one game, one label. Basically.
How have you gotten Take-Two to just kind of let you do?
Hold on. All right, our family one mission. I wonder. Oh, there's a little Elizabeth, and the Lutess is here, and then there's the different bottles, and that looks like Songbird. So I assume these 3 posters, let me move my camera a little bit. There we go. I assume, I might be pulling too much. I assume these 3 posters are from the game. This one I doubt means as much. Maybe this is a design of maybe an enemy or something we'll run into. And this is like an advertisement for like this robotic or something. Some sort of like dog robotic. I think this is interesting. One family, one mission. So I guess they kind of fight with each other in game, but I wonder how much of it ends up serving a shared goal. The one mission. They all want one thing, but they just have different ways of going about it. and they want somebody to side with them, or they want you to side with them. It's interesting.
Do your thing uninterrupted for this long.
Take-Two has I think a long vision. You know, they know that new IP is really important because you can only ride on existing IP for so long. They've got some amazing IP. You know, you saw the GTA trailer. Sure, completely blew up. People are still super excited, but eventually somebody, a company needs to be producing the new
I agree.
stuff, and it's really
Something new
hard,
needs to
especially in AAA
eventually
space,
happen.
That kind of money to do that. And so I think
Yeah, there's the Cookies poster.
Long enough, I had built up enough trust by shipping a couple of big games for them that.
Look at that! What is that little dude? What is his plan? What is this guy expecting?
For them.
He just looks like he's a bomb, and then you can set him off early.
And also, I have a good enough relationship with the management that I'm extremely transparent about expectations. And sure, they probably have liked it that go faster. I'm totally understandable. I'm sure they would have.
It's kind of interesting he mentions that because there's been plenty of development problems I've heard from people that have worked in it. Hell, forever ago when they announced Ghost Story Games and everything, I think a lot of the team that was there has left at this point because it just took so long, and things kept even in BioShock 1 or Infinite. I don't know as much about BioShock 1. I should look into that. I know in BioShock Infinite, people would come to him with totally finished things, and then he'd be like, no, go back and, I want this differently like this. And that'd pretty consistently keep happening. And they kind of needed somebody to put their foot down and be like, no, we're going to go forward with this. Because, even up until a year before the full game, there's stuff in there, in trailers, that's just not in the full game. There's a whole section where where as Booker you go and take down a blimp, and those blimps are just not in the game anymore. It's just looking like it's all totally there. So.
But I just keep them in the loop. I say, you guys want to come play the game? You guys want to see any documents? And generally they take a more hands-off approach, but we do regular meetings with them, going over financials and all that stuff. So we're extremely transparent, and I think that really helps. And they value transparency, and I think they also know.
I guess this is less about Judas so far.
And so they put a lot of faith.
I thought it would be.
Anybody else would have, because even with my, I have a reasonably good track record.
But I like this stuff, so it's fine.
Still a lot of trust.
If you want
I deeply
gameplay footage, skip ahead to right now, because all right. I saw this 2-minute video and I was like, okay, let's do it. I haven't looked at them. So here, if you want to see the new gameplay footage, Judas, the developer, Rockstar Games, give us, we got you covered. I want to see this.
I started falling in love with the world, and I started seeing more and more opportunity to tell a bigger story, not a roller coaster ride in the same way as before, but more of a deeper player interaction driven world. But yeah, I guess it kind of scaled.
If you haven't seen my 75-minute interview with BioShock creator,
75-minute interview? Ooh, we might go through that.
Decade and building something entirely new with Judas. Check that out.
I'm probably gonna make that its own video. But I do want to see the gameplay footage. Damn, that looks gross. Jeez. So inherently.
But if you just
damn, it's like a little nut that goes into your arm, your hand. I guess that's what gives you your powers then.
Gameplay footage that developer Ghost Story Games gave us to accompany that interview, I've got you covered right here.
Judas gameplay overview.
I can't tell you any more about Judas that Ken didn't already talk about in the interview, so as not to spoil anything.
Interesting. Wait. I noticed it before, but I wasn't sure. But now looking at it,
about Judas that Ken didn't already talk about.
Yeah, there's a slight Is there a way I can go back frame by frame in this? No, I don't think I can.
In the interview, so as not to spoil anything for you. But I can describe what's going on in these.
But it looked like you could see sort of what's going on there, like how you're about to splat.
It looks incredibly painful.
That does look painful, but it also looks really good.
Means that you guessed it.
She died.
Dead for some indeterminate amount of time.
She's been dead.
But I'm getting a little ahead of myself. You play as Judas, a hacker and self-taught engineer who's part of a multi-generational trip from Earth to a new planet called Proxima Centauri aboard the colony ship called the Mayflower. The
Okay.
capital M mission is to continue the human race after
Proxima Centauri.
aboard the colony ship called the Play as Judas, a hacker and
Proxima
self-taught
Centauri.
engineer who's part of a multi-generational.
I wonder if we'll ever
trip from
reach the
Earth
planet.
to
I
a
wouldn't be
new
surprised
planet
if we
called
don't.
Proxima Centauri aboard the colony ship called the Mayflower. The capital M mission is to continue the human race after departing Earth due to a bacterial plague. Also,
Ooh.
on board this
Oh,
ship,
that's totally gonna that somebody on board's infected then from this bacteria for sure. Somebody's infected. We're gonna run into it.
particularly well liked. See, it turns out that things went seriously sideways, and it's all your fault.
Uh-oh.
Stands for Judas.
Now that you live again, you've got the three.
I just thought. I wonder how into religion this one will go. Because I mean, we had the whole religious-based city of Columbia in BioShock Infinite. But it's still interesting that they'd pick specifically Judas. Maybe I guess we were somebody super well like high up and trusted, and then we betrayed all of them. I guess.
Holographic heads of the ship to contend
I mean,
with. Tom, the ship's head of
this is
security,
basic stuff.
who wants to protect the mission at all costs. Dr.
Okay.
Okiki, the ship's medical officer who embraces a robots are the way forward mindset and becomes Nefertiti
Woof.
after abandoning all of her biological self. And
Okay.
Hope, the ship's counselor. But there's a family dynamic in play here.
Counselor.
Tom is married to Nefertiti, and Hope is their adopted daughter. So
There you go. One family. And then I guess the mission is get everyone to, or the mission is probably continue the human race at that point. But obviously they have different ideas of how to go about it. And there you go. There's your fucking endings. I bet Tom's ending is you make it to the planet and you're able to restart colonizing humans. Nefertiti is everyone, human race continues as robot cyborgs. What does Hope want?
robotic underneath? Because they're all robots, which Judas discovered and told them all about, throwing the entire ship into chaos and causing an existential crisis for everyone, particularly Hope, who sees deletion as the only way out of her endless existence, and like the T-800, she cannot self-terminate. That's why she needs your help.
Please do this for me, Judas.
So interesting. Okay, so everyone's a robot. Okay. Everyone's a robot. There's no well, I guess we don't know if humans are in pods or something, or if they just have like DNA, human DNA, and we're just robots that are attempting to move them forward. Or if at one point we were all humans and now we're all robots. After we've been reprinted into robots.
Judas's narrative Lego dynamic is all about the choices you make during gameplay. Who will help you out, and as a result, who will you piss off? You need to get one of them back in their robot body so that they can pilot the ship through the impassable by humans asteroid field orbiting.
Well, so we have to get them back in their body, but how are they able to affect the area if they're... Well, I guess I'm assuming that they're in our head. They might not be specifically in our head, they might be in the terrain. And in our head. I don't know.
Orbiting Proxima Centauri so you can get off the sinking ship that is the Mayflower. Depending on how you play this game of tug of war, no two playthroughs might ever be the same.
Your mission has failed.
I doubt that. That's a big promise.
Now there's still room for you in the mission, Neffy, I swear.
Don't you ever call me that again.
Helping one might yield rewards, for instance, such as
We saw that.
showing up to help you out when you're clearly
And then we saw
outnumbered.
this.
Conversely, if you ignore one of the big three for too long or go against one of them by helping one or both of the others, they might get mad at you. Again, all dynamically within gameplay by, say, locking the door you're trying to get through while being chased by enemies. But what about combat?
That I kind of feel like that whole no two playthroughs are going to be we shouldn't take that too seriously. I assume obviously, relationship wise you might not have, it's similar in a place in different playthroughs, but I think if the main differences are just like locking doors or like whether or not they're willing to help you out in fights, I don't think saying no two playthroughs will be similar is really applicable, is the word.
Well, it'll look familiar to BioShock veterans, though to be clear, Judas is its own game and in no way connected to any BioShock.
It is not attached to the BioShock games.
Right hand and abilities in your left hand.
Damn, that's the one thing with the guy on it.
Of your right hand when trying to survive the rope, at least of left hand. Pistols and shotguns are two of your most prominent tools of the
Pistols
trade,
and shotguns are
of your right hand when trying to survive the robots gone wild insanity of
I assume we just
You'll fight.
I'm gonna assume they here's assault rifle and stuff.
To tidy up the ship by shooting them or zapping them with lightning, one of the powers you can acquire.
So that's what these guys are, the little guys over here behind the gun, fix-it robots.
For your left hand. Even better if there happens to be water on the ground that you can electrify, thus
Oh, look at this sniper rifle. Or I guess it's just a rifle.
Like I said, Judas is a hacker, so she can hack lots of things.
So, hold on. It says select a hack chip. So these are different things you can do. These are different ones. Execute that program. Select a hack chip. So these are... So this seems to be to send a program, sort of, and then this is what the effect is. Yeah, so we to get it. Whoa, leak oil. So they can leak oil. You can use fire. Power down. Okay, so I was right about that one. Leak oil.
Which very much includes your robot attackers.
Causes it to do that, and then you can set it on fire. Nice.
From turning passive to aggressive to sheer chaos. In this case, go into kamikaze.
It's like hack chip, run program, kamikaze. Yeah, it's okay. It's this footage.
As for these bizarre bionic beasts you'll battle, they used to serve normal functions aboard the ship, but as things got crazy, so did they. The dentist, as an example, used to walk around the ship going to meet the people who needed dental care. This is a multi-generational mission, remember? You're going to need your teeth cleaned every 6 months.
Goddamn.
Now, though, they angrily seek you out, looking to show you the wrong end of their drill. Another of my favorite enemies was the deputy, a BoJack Horseman-looking, long
I like the animation.
lawman who likes to fire his gun into the air when he gets riled up. And remember how I said the Mayflower was a
Reflight medical
ship?
check.
It's an enormous one, the size of a city, and helping you get around it is your trusty Clifford-sized robot.
Here's your fast travel. Okay. Scuddy. Here's your transit.
From district to district in order to go do new missions for whichever of the big three you're backing at that given moment. That's all I can tell you for now, but be sure to check out the full interview with Ken Levine for much more.
I will. It'll be its own video, though.
Loop that's baked into Judas's
yeah, the roguelike loot.
Player agency-driven first-person shooter.
Loop,
and stay
not loot.
tuned for much more on Judas on IGN in the coming months.
Oh, man, this is cool. I'm excited. So, I mean, it sort of looks kind of like one of the, I think no, it isn't the first. No, it is the first gameplay, because the initial trailer, yeah. So one of the first gameplays was of BioShock Infinite. You saw Elizabeth messing with the weather, and then you could like use your vigors to get to do different stuff with her, like weather. Like I think the one they showed off two. Raining, and then using electro bolt on it, and then a bunch of like pots and pans and stuff coming together, and then using fire on it to create it into like a big bomb. It kind of looks similar to that. Your hacks can kind of cause the different stuff, different things that will mix with, regular vigors, I guess. I'm curious if the hacking is the same as your vigor plasmids, or if it's technically two different systems. Obviously, we have no UI. I bet the UI isn't even really finalized yet. Some of the animations and stuff definitely look like they're still being worked on, which was cool. I totally, not going into this expecting this is what we'll fully see at the end of the game. I imagine it'll look similar, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's changes, knowing how Ken Levine's process works. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm excited to look through that hour interview. But yeah, that'll be its own video. So cool. If you enjoyed, feel free to subscribe if you're watching. Yeah, and I'll see you guys in the hour long the hour long that'll turn into a 2 hour long video. Ooh, see ya.